So now we'll fly through a little bit here. But so now you can see the agenda. You heard me say it before, the why and the what and the when are important, but not being able to see it is kind of a bummer. And if you guys could in the question section, just as you let me know it wasn't working, if you could let me know now that it is working, I would greatly appreciate that. A big part of the webinar is actually being able to see the pictures. Sorry about that, guys. Back to the meat of the presentation. You've heard this from me before. You've heard it all over the place, right? People use the internet to shop. That's true in our industry in real estate as much as it is in anything else. The way they use the internet may vary a little bit, but at the end of the day, no one buys anything without going online first. You've also seen these numbers before, right? Not the last time I tried to show this slide, but now you can actually see them. And you've seen them more than once if you've been paying attention any of the other times I've been making presentations about online presence. 2/3 of consumers Google their agent, even if it is a referral from friends and family. Almost 3/4 start their research online, whether it's about a brokerage, an agent, or just looking at properties. And my all-time favorite, 92% of consumers trust online reviews as much as their friends and family. There's a new one at the bottom, and I'll admit it, I said it before, I made this one up, right? I'm not really sure if 99% of consumers are looking at properties online, but I think almost all of our clients are because we tell them to. So even if they aren't already using the internet to search for real estate, they will be trained to on their next transaction, and they'll be telling their friends to do the same thing. The number of folks who aren't using the internet as part of their internet search is getting smaller every day. So our online presence matters at a company level, at the office level, and at the agent level. That's the bottom line. That's why I don't stop talking about it. So the point here is that a strong online presence can help take your agent's business to the next level. And Baird & Warner is making it easier to build that strong online presence. We're making it easier to look good on the World Wide Web. We've been doing it for years with our award-winning website. We did it with Zillow. 88% of our agents now have profiles. We have over 5,000 reviews. We did it with Yelp. More than 1,200 agents signed up in the last 6 months. That gives us the strongest Yelp profile in our market. And we brought in Testimonial Tree, which has brought in over 11,000 reviews with a 4.9 rating. It has all kinds of cool tools to post them all over social media and the web in general. And we're going to keep working on it because this is a forever challenge. If we really want it to grow our business and our agents' business, we have to keep up with the times. So Realtor.com's next, right? It's definitely clear by now because you've already heard half of this presentation. But some of you are still thinking, why are we doing Realtor.com? I thought they didn't matter anymore. But really, at the end of the day, we have 50 million reasons why they matter. 53 million unique visitors a month that come to Realtor.com. That's more than 15% of the country's population. It is a little less than Zillow, I acknowledge that, but it's still an awful lot of people and translates to about 1.5 million unique viewers in our market every month. That's a lot of people. I know that the last time I quoted somebody in a presentation was Aristotle, but this time I found a more fitting quote from LL Cool J. This particular lyric comes from Mama Said Knock You Out, which was a favorite of mine back in the day, and I just heard from one of my coworkers up here as a favorite of her kids, so I guess we'll call it a timeless classic. The quote's so fitting because people have been calling this last year Realtor.com's big comeback. They have seen a huge growth in unique usership and in registered users over the last 2 years. And so the music video for this song, Mama Said Knock You Out, features LL Cool J alone in a boxing ring. And the Realtor.com guys don't look anything like LL Cool J. I know that's a bummer, but they do have this big new friend in their corner, News Corp. The guys who own Fox News, the Wall Street Journal, the Dow Jones Index, and just about all of Australia's media. They went from being a $300 million company whose competition, Zillow, was losing more money every year than they had or than they were worth, to part of a media conglomerate that makes over $30 billion a year, right? They have more resources to take on their competition now, and it shows in the way that they're coming back. We've all seen Elizabeth Banks on TV. I feel like Realtor.com has just as many commercials on just as many outlets. as Zillow, and they have just re-signed Elizabeth Banks and recommitted to a major media campaign. So Realtor.com's been in the industry for a long time, right? Since 1995, the same time that Mama Said Knock You Out came out. That's longer than me, that's longer than Zillow, that's longer than a bunch of people on this phone call. And if we think back to what the internet was like back then, it was slow, it was terrible. And the internet's come a long way because they can now beam this stuff into our pockets. What we used to wait for that little annoying AOL spinny thing to load now takes a few seconds to land in my pocket or your purse. And so I think we all work at a company that knows that there's a lot of value in having a rich heritage, in understanding an industry because the experiences you've had in it because you've been there. Well, in the world of real estate search portals, Realtor.com is the venerable, experienced veteran, and it shows. Consumers spend an average of 2 minutes longer on Realtor.com than they do on their competition, and that's an eternity on the internet. Consumers also visit twice as many pages as they do on Zillow. Almost 10 pages per visit on Realtor.com versus 4.5 on Zillow. Fascinating data that shows you that it isn't all just about a catchy ad campaign. You also have to deliver an experience to the consumer that they like and want to return to over and over again. And lastly, consumers themselves rated Realtor.com #1. They said they liked it best. Given the choices, given all the major choices, they said they liked it best. So it may not be the most popular, but millions of people, in our market alone, millions of people are using it, and an awful lot are liking it. So if our online presence is a crucial part of our business, and Realtor.com is a crucial part of our online presence, then Realtor.com is a crucial part of our business. Simple, right? So what are we going to do about it? Well, we're going to make it easier, because that's what it says on the billboards, and we wouldn't want to deliver anything else. And it's a good thing we are making it easier, because it must be really hard. We have a huge opportunity here to help hundreds and hundreds of our agents improve their online presence easier. When I dove into this for the first time, I found out that 49% of our agents have no email address associated with their profile. Another 14% have an email that we know is old because it's associated with a brokerage that they no longer work for, which means that over 63% of our agents can't be reached from even their own listings on Realtor.com. The good news is we're going to fix that. There's a little more bad news. 48% haven't even claimed their profile. 58% don't have a photo, and only 20% signed in at all in 2016. So our agents aren't even making the minimum engagement. The good news is that we're going to make the minimum engagement easier. We're going to fix all that. We're going to fix it all easierly. We're going to correct the email addresses. We're going to add phone numbers. We're going to update the photos, the bios, and we're going to keep them up to date with an automatic feed that runs from the agent's agent-branded page over to Realtor.com and updates everything in about 24 hours so that our agents look awesome on Realtor.com all the time. We're also going to be the first in our market to upload high-resolution photos to Realtor.com so every listing looks as classy as it possibly could. It may not matter enormously on a smartphone when you're looking at those little pictures, but it will really matter when you're looking at your HD Retina display iPad on your couch with your family members. And so I got a question about how many property photos. It's as many as are uploaded into MRED. I forget what that number is, but you guys probably know what the limit. It's a lot more than we provide. It's like 50 or something. Or 25 somebody shot out. So that makes me happy. We got a number there. We are going to upload 4- and 5-star testimonials from Testimonial Tree to the recommendation section of Realtor.com for everyone. That's going to be over 10,000, closer to 11,000, and that number keeps going up every day that we'll be sending over there to show the experience and how much consumers enjoy working with our agents. We're also going to explain through a series of videos and webinars and provide tips and training to help our agents who want to delve in and work a little harder as part of their online presence to know what they're going to do. So that's what we're going to do. I'm sure you're asking, what do my agents have to do? So this is important. If you remember only one thing from this whole webinar, it's what's on this screen in front of you. I need to be very clear on this. This is not a technical error. Everything your agents have to do is right here on this slide. If they don't do everything on this list, then they won't get any of the advantages with the cool new partnership with Realtor.com. Do you guys get it? They don't have to do anything. So jokes aside, in order to make the most of this partnership, there are a few things we should encourage them to do. Nothing they have to do, but a few things that we should encourage them to do. The first is update their agent-branded website. I asked them all to do this when I was out there for Yelp. Now I'm asking them again, unless they already did it. The good news is that whenever they do it, it'll update on Realtor.com within 24 hours. But I know not enough of them are looking at it annually. So let's take advantage of this opportunity to remind them that you have to keep your online presence up to date. So second one, maybe I guess it's kind of a joke again. I guess I can't help myself. Just about everyone at Baird & Warner is using VHT. We have great adoption there, but I can't guarantee that our enhanced high-resolution listing photos will work if you use any other vendor. It's just the way the partnership is set up, and so if someone is using their local guy, it may or may not work. And third, the bulk upload of 4- and 5-star testimonials is only going to happen once. It's a big load to try and get 10,000 testimonials over to a website all in one piece attached to the right agents and everything. So as many as we can get that are part of that bulk upload is better. So they can always send those testimonials over to Realtor.com, but now's a good time, and we're going to have a couple weeks in March where we can encourage them to request a few more testimonials. And remember, there's a slick e-card with their custom testimonial tree link already in OneTouch, so it should be easy for them to send it out, get a few more back. I'd rather upload 12,000 than 10. So this is all pretty easy, right? It's not a whole lot harder than the nothing that was on my previous slide. And the reality is none of these are have-tos, so if they're too busy right now to tackle this, it's not going to matter. They're still going to get all the great advantages of the program. So there is one change that Realtor.com is making that we aren't thrilled about. Realtor.com is adding a lead capture form to the top of every listing. You see sort of next to the picture there where that blue box appeared? That's where it's going to go. Just like Zillow and Trulia and BairdWarner.com, the goal of these websites is to capture leads. Of course, Realtor.com is trying to sell them. That's their value proposition and how they make money. But it'll be there. This lead capture form will be there for every company in our market. Realtor.com isn't changing the way the listing agent appears on their website, but this new form does get prominent placement on every listing starting in April. So the lead capture form isn't directed to the listing agent by default. The lead's going to someone who pays for it, right? Either a listing agent who buys the leads from their own listing or a buyer agent that buys leads from a zip code that includes other people's listings in it. I think this change was inevitable as they try and keep up with their competition because, as I said, they make money selling leads. We all understand the business they're in. But we held them off as long as we could. I wanted to make sure that everyone saw it and knew what happened because it's an important change that's happening at the same time as the rest of this stuff. So we got the good news out of the way. We got the bad news out of the way. Here's what's going to happen next. We're going to kick this off next Monday. I know it isn't a lot of notice, but we made this easy for you in your office and your agents. Everything I do is going to be recorded so you and everyone in your office can consume them at your own pace. I don't expect anybody to do all of it by any stretch of the imagination. I just want everybody to pick the best way for them to get the message. And here are the choices. Every week for the next 4 weeks, I'm going to tackle a different subject about Realtor.com. Every Monday for the next 4 weeks, I'll release a short video for folks who only have 2 or 3 minutes to pay attention. That's going to be a lot of our agents, right? Every Wednesday for the next 4 weeks, I'll hold a Lunch and Learn webinar for folks who want to have a little more detail on what's going on. I'm going to stay on that same topic, but I'm going to dig in deeper than I can in 2 or 3 minutes. And every Friday, I'm going to have an interview with a very special guest for folks who need a little more star power to get them interested. Since we're starting with Laura Ellis, most of your bosses, I know you'll all be there on March 10th to hear what she thinks about Realtor.com and the importance of building a robust and complete online presence. At the end of the 4 weeks, during the first week of April, I'm going to bring all 4 topics together in a series of live regional presentations with Realtor.com staff on site to help us answer any questions. This is for those folks who really want it all at once and want to dig in on the details. So there should be something for everybody. I just need you guys to help me make sure that the broker associates in your office know the choices they have. Know that these videos are out there, whether they watch them the day they come out or 2 weeks later. And you probably know which ones will engage with which, the short, the medium, or the long form of this information. And I just hope I found a way to make it easier enough from everyone. So that's all I've got. I've got some time for questions. I know that I've seen a few of them be typed in, so I'm going to look here and see what we've got. I got to scroll through all the ones that told me the slides weren't working, but we've got a lot of other ones. And then I'll answer a few. So give me just a second. So there's a couple of questions about the photos, and we're going to put out an FAQ. It should be available by Monday, answering a lot of them. Some of these are a little too technical, but I do know that it'll work better. It'll be more reliable if we're using the VHT feed. They won't need to do anything special. The agents won't need to take any action. The office won't need to take any action unless the system doesn't work. So it'll run automatically with the high-resolution photos that that are already being taken and that are uploaded to our website. Okay, so I've got some questions about the automatic upload. And I know we had some trouble with that, so it looks like there's a couple of people who said, is the Realtor.com upload working? It is working. We have tested that a lot. It was not for a while, you are right, but we believe it is now working 100%. There's one glitch that I can help out with around matching up names to make sure that names and email addresses are exact. So we sometimes have a little trouble if someone is a Mike in one place and a Michael in somewhere else, or a Sue and a Susan. But we'll be troubleshooting that as we upload them. And the other question that it looks like we got about testimonial tree was, do the agents need to click that box or check that box? No. We have decided that 4 and 5 reviews are all fantastic, and that there can't really be much of a reason not to have them sent over to Realtor.com. So we are going to upload everything that is a 4 or 5-star review automatically. The agents can remove them from Realtor.com if they want to, but again, we couldn't really see any reason that anyone would want to skip out on that. We got a couple of questions about, what about people who've already claimed their account, added pictures, so and so forth. So the short answer to that is that any work that an agent has done or does in the future will manually override the automatic upload coming from our Baird and Warner page. And so we are going to have to make sure that we communicate to those folks who may have changed it in the past, and this will be part of the profiles week, if you will, on this schedule, that week 2, to make sure that they understand that those manual changes will override the changes coming from our feed. So the other so basically, if you have put time and energy into it, your agent has, their hard work will not be deleted or overwritten by what's on their agent webpage unless they tell us they want it to be. So I got a bunch of questions about the when will this happen. Our target is to do the bulk upload at the beginning of week 3, so on 3/2017, and that's because during week 2 I'm going to tell everybody to update their profiles and explain to them all what's going on. It will take probably 48 or 72 hours for the upload to process this first time, because we are running the extra steps around those agents who have also signed up. And so it also looks like there was an ask about when the testimonials would be uploaded, and our hope was to do that following the week where we talk about reviews and recommendations, tell them that that's happening, and encourage them to get some reviews. Let's see. I've got a question here. I've got a question here about teams, and from a team perspective, they are not as well set up for teams as our website or as Zillow.com, but I have been led to believe that they are coming out with a team profile shortly. I can ask for more information to sort of fill in that gap for folks. I have been paying attention to that issue. And I think that's most of them. So I got a question. Okay, here. Sorry, it's hard to scroll through these guys. I really appreciate the questions. They're all smart. It's just hard to find all the various different topics. So I've got another one that asked, how will agents know about when all this stuff is happening? So I will be putting all of the, I will be putting links to all of the Monday videos into the Buzz, and they'll be available on my Workplace page. So the fastest way to access them will be to pay attention to Workplace on Monday. There will be a link in the email version of the Buzz that goes out. And so there'll be a YouTube link for that and the ability to see those on Workplace. The webinars, the registration, and links to the YouTube video will also be available on the Start menu. On that same Realtor.com Start page, there will be links to all of the Wednesday webinars, when to register, and then once they're completed, links to videos so that you can watch those webinars after they're done. And on Friday, we'll be using a webinar format again, so there'll be a chance to register for the webinar for that the interview with the VIP. And then a chance to listen to or see the audio depending on the form that we're presenting it in after it's up there. So look out for that link. That's also where you'll be able to find the FAQs as soon as Jan and I get it live, which may be later today or early Monday. We will send it out to you with the FAQs, the dates, all the registration links, and so on. We just wanted to keep it all in one place instead of trying to send around, emails to everyone with each of the individual links or something like that. Let me give it one more sort of scroll through, but let me be at least a little bit of a last call in terms of questions as I look through here. I certainly, I certainly am happy to answer any questions offline. I think I covered the ones that were sort of more or less a theme. There is also a question. It does look like a couple people and a couple people shouted in just late now, asked about getting this presentation. I will send you this presentation. I can send it by PowerPoint, and I have been recording even the bad part in the beginning, which I'll probably edit out, but I've got a recording of this webinar. This was really designed for staff, so please feel free to share it with your staff. But I will be doing another presentation, so hold off on sharing it with agents. I think it would be much better to share the video on Monday to encourage them to join the webinar, or share the webinar on Wednesday. This week's webinar on Wednesday will cover a lot of the same topics. I will be really focused on the why and even have some better and little deeper dig on the stats in comparison of Realtor.com and its position relative to its competitors. So that's the topic for that, and the hope is that they will be able to get everything they need in that way. So I think that's it. I think the last question, or the last sort of topic that I've got, is a question about listing agent contact info on listings. And so it is a good question. The contact form they are putting on there does not change the way the listing agent and office appears on Realtor.com. So I should acknowledge you have to kind of scroll down pretty far to find it. But assuming that an account has been properly claimed, or profile has been properly claimed, the contact information for that agent does appear in sort of the listing agent designation on Realtor.com. Again, it's not terribly prominent, it's not very large, it's not flashing, it doesn't have a lot of great call to action features to it, but that stuff will still appear there. And of course, the broker reciprocity it requires them to show our brokerage and office listing. So that information is still there. They're just adding this lead capture form at the top, which, is quite frankly a much more prominent place. So it looks like 2 of you wrote in and said that there's an issue about profiles being too long for Realtor.com. I'm going to follow up with you guys separately. That's a relatively new thing that I've not heard before. So I'll follow up a little bit. It sounds like we might have to have a little workaround. So stay tuned if there's anyone else on the call who's been scratching their head about that. Cool. Well, I think that about covers it. If I missed anything in these questions, you guys were really active and attentive. I appreciate that. Let me know, shoot me an offline email, and I will definitely respond as soon as I can. So thanks a ton, and with that, I'll sign off here in just a second.